Alright, here we are with another Wood Wars. This time it is my rematch when I was more awake against Andyzz, and he's going to be playing the game that he drew, the team that he drew for the luck of the dice. He's going to play Undead for the first time, which was a bit of a shock to hear. Andyzz, as I've said many times, I think is the best coach in the league, though he is unfamiliar with this team, so he's a bit new to the Undead setup. I don't think he made the best team choices, we'll talk about that a little bit, but he still played well, to be fair. He didn't really do anything overly wrong, but we'll have a look at things as we go along. And I'm playing Dark Elves, the only elf that I don't feel completely uncomfortable playing as. For some reason, I don't mind Dark Elves as much as the other two. The Dark Elves are singing Everybody Hurts, sometimes. And they're all singing it while crying, because that's what they do. And the Undead are singing Zombie. I should really think about these before I actually do the recording. It would make it a lot more entertaining than just coming up with ideas on the spot. They're not as good. I said Andy's challenged that he should have at least 2 skeletons in his Undead team, and he has indeed picked 2 skeletons. That wasn't advice, by the way. Skeletons are awful pieces, but they are my favourite piece, so I like to see them, and I like to see them used. Anyway, he did go for 2 in the team, so we'll have a look at the teams in a little bit. It's been a couple of days since I played this match. I don't remember it entirely, but let's see what we do. So, having a look at the team as it is. There's a small chance that he hasn't named the piece himself, or maybe he has and I'm not so familiar with these people. That's also possible, and he did name one of the skeletons after me, which is very nice. No, I see that they're kind of named after... I think they're actually named after Roman emperors, mostly. Interesting, yes, it looks that way, certainly. Okay. And my Dark Elves, the Eclipses, are all words related to things that happen against the sun, basically. So let's see if I can finally have a decent showing against Andy, because every time I play him, he just outplays me. So hopefully I can hold my own with a team that I'm a little bit more familiar with and a team he's not familiar with. Though, to be honest, in the Orc match I was expecting to do better against him, but as we all know, I was pretty tired when I was playing that game. Well, we have nice weather. That's a good start. Let's have a look how this goes then. I'm going for the same setup that I normally do with the pet collection. It's a kind of last line of defense type setup. That's the basic idea of it. Alright, that's early KO against the zombie. That's good news for me. That's very good news for me, actually. Let's see what else we could do with this setup. 2 down isn't so good, but I don't need to reroll that, because I'm still pretty well defensively set up here, and the ball is miles away, so he's going to have to come and get it if he wants to. Come at me, bro. And he's wasting no time in throwing pieces forward, which is fair. And he brings the ghouls into the mix, which is an interesting choice, but it's pretty safe at this point, as long as you keep it out of the way, which he does. It's also locked up this little gap. I mean, Andy's main role as Undead is to slow me down. That's all he really needs to do. This half. And hopefully knock out a couple of my players as well, of course. That will definitely help him. And blitzing with the mummy is certainly a way to do that, with a free die, but he gets a 2 die in return and he also doesn't reroll it, which is fair, I think. Fair call. And he still has 3 pieces in second line of defense, so that's very good. I'm going to try and pick my fights here. That's going to be the main thing. I want to put down the white. And with the mummy down, I actually get an automatic 2 down on this zombie, so I'm going to take that and follow so the ghoul can't move. I'm not too worried about basing a ghoul. I'm actually even going to blitz the ghoul. Interesting. But okay. Dodge does things though. And follow up. Not sure about that follow-up. Didn't need to do that. But there we go, I did. That means we can put down this zombie and keep this white completely locked up. So Interesting choice, but okay. Not the best one, but it will do. Should go here, yeah, and which should come round just in support so nothing can come. No, we're actually going to lock up these pieces like that. That's fine. Alright, I'm picking up the ball and moving back into the middle somewhere. Yeah, that's fair. So I haven't given away my hand, so to speak. It's not clear which way I'm going to go, though it does look I'm going to go more this way. So chances are I'm going to go this way. And if he keeps rolling pushes, this is going to be a good day for me. That's the skeleton that isn't me, I think. No, the skeleton that is me is in the fray already. 2 down is better this time. 2 down is much better this time. We have our first injury. It's a no, not badly hurt. It's a badly hurt, sorry, no long-term effects. But it's just a lineman. Not too worried. I don't mind going a couple of pieces down, especially if I can get at least 1 injury back every now and then. With Dark Elves, I think that's a fairly safe assumption that can happen as well, because they are more punchy than their elf brethren. And yeah, Andyzz has done a pretty good job of sorting me out here, making sure I'm not really going anywhere. And he follows with me as a skeleton. Right. He's done a very good job of locking up the line here. I don't really have anywhere to go that's safe, but I am going to push this way, as that's where I have the numbers, and I'm going to try and take advantage of my numbers on this side. So I'm just being attacked by a cat, so I better make sure that I keep him occupied, because I am back in Wales at the moment, and I'm back with my cat. He is my assistant coach. He's a very aggressive assistant coach. He always aims for the nose. Making a nice gap here, and coming back in to get a good punch on the white. Should have punched with this piece and run that piece out, but I didn't. So we're going to focus on keeping him central. That's fine, actually. Keeping him centered. We're just pushing the team this way. Of course, Undead don't move very quickly, and injuries help. Let's hope for no regen on our side. Nope, regen works. Not really good enough, but it will do. We should now be bringing more pieces in support, but no, we're going to actually lock up this side. Interesting. The witch is going to go this way, though. Yes, the witch is going to be the retriever, I think. Yeah, I'm going to put the ball here. I'd be surprised if not. If you can hear a weird sound in the background, it's because my cat is scratching. So, sorry about that if you can hear that. Pass is good. And get away from the mummy, because mummies are scary. That's good positioning of the ball, actually. He needs to reposition this team quickly, and this team cannot move quickly. So, that's good. And both his ghouls, his fast pieces, are on this side. They're the 2 pieces that can cause me trouble here. But it's a big commitment leaving them on their own if he does want to force me to have trouble. But he is screening instead, which is clever. I've said it many times, I'll say it again. I'm not much of an elf coach, but I don't mind playing as Dark Elves. Even though Dark Elves and High Elves are pretty much the same, to be honest. I feel a lot more comfortable playing as Dark Elves for some reason. I prefer High Elves when there's no positionals involved. Whereas Dark Elves, I like the variety in the team, so it makes me feel a bit more comfortable playing them. And it's took a 1-die there that worked out very well on the witch, though it didn't do any damage. But it was worth a try, so I don't blame him for that. Now we're going to try and hit this ghoul, because ghouls are not very strong. And I was talking about the team build actually. What I would suggest with this team build is to remove one of the ghouls, basically, if not both. Because whites can work as ball carriers, and the mummies work perfectly well as roadblocks, and skeletons and zombies can hold up pieces. So if you have both whites, both mummies, 1 ghoul maximum to start with, and 3 rerolls, which I think is possible with that build. I don't usually play standard Undead, I usually play the Stumblers, but I'm pretty sure. Then you're going to have a much better time with the way the dice work. And it also means there aren't 2 pieces that are very vulnerable and are very often on their own. Whereas at the moment you have these 2 very vulnerable pieces that basically can just be picked off. Anyway, I did get a good block on that ghoul. I've also got 2 pieces basing this ghoul now, meaning that Andyzz has to roll some dice, or has to at least position more this way, so I have to force my way through. What he should do is lock off with the white, but I know Andy's better than that. He's going to go straight for it, and he does. That's a good block against the Blitzer. The Blitzer is KO'd. That's bad news for me, actually. One thing I'll say about Dark Elves as well, I've remade this team many times. Originally this team had an assassin and a runner as well, but I didn't like the lack of rerolls, so I removed the assassin, the runner, and I think I even removed the Blitzer to make way for rerolls, and basically I'll build the team slowly over time. When linemen die, which they inevitably do, I'll replace them with positionals. To be honest though, when you're playing Elves, the positionals don't really do anything that the normal linemen can't do. The one benefit of taking a positional is that they sometimes get, for example, strength access, which I think Dark Elves specifically do, but they're the only Elves that do. I might be wrong about that though. Anyway, I don't have block on the Witch, so I have to reroll and push my way through, and I am going to take the score here. Oh, but I failed the GFI. That's bad news. That's very bad news. That gives Andyzz a chance here. That gives Andyzz a big chance, actually. He can get the ball well out of the way here. That's a decent stun against my lineman. It's pretty bad news for me. And everyone's down as well. Plenty of chance to pick up the ball here, but first he is going to very, very sensibly screen off. And the ghoul's going to go for the pickup, I guess. Yep. Failed. Alright. That gives me a slight out, but my best option, to be honest, is to just dodge with the Witch. So that's probably what I'm going to do, because there's no easy way to get to the ball here. I'm gonna just make a screen just in case the Witch goes wrong though, because the Witch is a dodgy roll. And there we go. But she managed, and she managed to pick up, so we go 1-0 Dark Elves. That's a good start. I'm glad I'm 1-up against Andyzz, because Andyzz is a scary coach to play against. Even when he's not very familiar with a team, I still think he's playing pretty well. It's obvious that he's not so used to having to... He's obviously not so used to the speed of Undead, as he's put himself into some dangerous positioning pitfalls, but otherwise he's playing pretty well, nonetheless. So I don't think there's any team that isn't scary when you're playing against Andy. Yeah, I did go for 3 blitzers in the end. I went for 3 blitzers, a Witch, and a Wood Elf. And all linemen. A Wood Elf? Yeah, there's a Wood Elf in the team. There we go. No, I went for 3 blitzers and the Witch. That was it for positionals. The rest are all linemen, so I could have at least 2 rerolls. I don't think there is a sensible build that you can start with that includes an assassin. There's definitely not one that includes 2 witches. A lot of people try to make this 2 witch build, but it's just not a good idea. You could argue even the 1 witch isn't a good idea, but because she's so expensive, you're best off getting her in early so she has more chances of MVP. That's the one thing I'll say about Dark Elves. The only real way to have a safe build with assassin and witch elf to start with is to give up on the blitzers. And to be honest, I think the blitzers are worth more than the assassin can ever be. The assassin is fun, but it's definitely a late purchase, not an early purchase. Or if you want to build specifically for an assassin, then don't take a witch elf. Elves can do things, but they need at least 2 rerolls. Andyzz does actually have plenty of time to return score here. He just needs to get the ball from ghoul to ghoul. His ghouls can move very quickly with 7 movement. So long as he can get ghoul into position and the second ghoul into a place where he can hand off, there's a good chance of a undead score coming in this first half. And with 1 reroll, that's very likely. Though I have set up so even if the ghoul does run on its own, it's going to be in trouble. Alright, here we go with the pickup then. And fail. Has to reroll. He needs the ghoul in a better position to score. That's good news for me. The reroll is gone. He can't hand off, but he can pass next turn. So I'm going to make sure this ghoul goes down, because this ghoul is troubling, to say the least. I'm also going to make sure this white can't move, though, because these two pieces are dangerous this turn. The witch has got to punch the ghoul, surely. Yep, we are. And double skull is awful. Reroll that. Into a POW. That's good. And ghoul is stunned. That's great news for me. White is still a scoring threat, but it's definitely harder for Andy to score now. Skeleton is also a scoring threat, though most people would overlook the skeleton. I know for a fact, though, that skeletons are a lot more dangerous than people give them credit for, so I put the skeleton down and make sure he doesn't get back up either. I think the one die on the zombie was a misclick, or I didn't look at it for long enough, because I wouldn't have taken that normally, I think. And yeah, the failing the dodge is a bit hard, but well, into a KO was a bit hard, but failing the dodge itself wasn't so bad. So the white is the biggest scoring threat now, and he needs to get the ball to the white realistically, but the white is not safe no matter where he goes at the moment. He may actually be better off keeping the ball in the hand of the ghoul and moving positions into a potential scoring threat position as opposed to specifically handing the ball off, but I know regardless that the white needs to go down this turn. If I can put the white down and he doesn't score. Or if I can put the ghoul down, that's another option. Of course. So the white is going to blitz his way out, which is fair enough. It means that he can move into a scarier position. A much scarier position. And Andyzz is probably going to go for the pass here, though he doesn't really need to. He would be better off keeping the ball, like I say. And he's not going to go for the pass. Okay, he's sensible. It would be crazy, actually. I thought it was better than it was. He is going to go for the pass next turn, though, so realistically I want to put the ghoul down. That would be the ideal. Though I will settle for the white if the ghoul is too scary. But I'm actually going to take a one-piece smack. No, I'm not. I'm going to hit the white. Okay, that's fair. Without the stun, the white can still score, so maybe not the best choice I could have made there. And we will try and lock off the ghoul with this piece. We may even move the witch onto the ghoul. Now we're going to take a one-die block first. Good block, not so bad. Stand up this piece. No. Taking one die block against skeleton again. Again, one die, not so bad. And we can even hit the mummy now. Quite safely. But witch is moving first. And witch is moving in to make sure that the block against the mummy is very safe. As safe as it could be anyway. Yeah, we don't pick this piece up because it's just Andyzz might decide that it's just better off doing damage than going for the ball. I want him to go for the ball because it's the harder roll. He actually GFIs with the mummy, and it works. I'm going to try and blitz this piece so the white has at least a little bit of breathing room. GFI fails this time now, and that's the end of the first half. So unusually for Wood Wars so far, I think, going into halftime with me 1-up. That doesn't happen very often in these games recently. One injured Dark Elf out, just a lineman, and the KO stays out. And the KO zombie also stays out, meaning that we are going back into the match, I think 11-10 actually, because he has a bench. Yeah, he does have a bench. 11-10. So 12-10. That's the other thing with Undead as well. A bench is nice, but it's still better. You're still better off getting that third reroll than getting the bigger bench. Just to give yourself that little bit of breathing space playing Undead, because they're not very good with the ball. They're fine at everything else, but they're not very good with the ball. So rerolls just help with the difficult situations in which you have to move the ball from one piece to another. So, Andy's drive now, and Blitz. That's unfortunate for Andyzz, especially as he's set up in a maximum damage setup here. I'm going to kind of scupper that with my Blitz reposition. I could have gone for the ball, which is what most Elf and ICBBL coaches do, but generally speaking, I don't play that way, to be honest, anyway, no matter what team I'm playing. I'd much rather get the ball after the other team has advanced, as opposed to putting a few key pieces into a dangerous position in the opposite half. And I do actually take the blitz and dodge the blitzer back out. It's a good first block. That's a stun on the Dark Elf, meaning the mummy can come out freely. Sorry, mouse is doing things on its own. Move the computer, my fault. And the second mummy is going to have a decent punch on the Dark Elf. And we're locking up the Witch Elf. Not really necessary. Actually puts the white in a bit of a dangerous position because I can move pieces onto him. But it does put pressure on me to move, so I don't blame him for that decision. And going for the pickup. Success. And Ghoul is pretty safe on the far flank. He's going for a fast score here, that's obvious, but to be honest, that's good play when you're behind. You may as well go for the fast score, because if you want to win, you have to, actually. And Skull on the skeleton, which he doesn't reroll, quite rightly, leads to finally a turnover. What do we do here then? We are going to put the white down, I guess. Or are we going to... No, we are going to put the white down, that's fine. We could actually get the blitzer out and take a 2-die on the ghoul. That's probably the way we're going to do this. And we're going to bring this other blitzer in support, locking up the other ghoul. Not so sure I need to do that dodge first, but I did. Now this piece. Yeah, we're going to hit the ghoul, I'm pretty sure. No, we're just going to screen. Okay. Actually, much better play. I did much better than the way I'm looking at it. Because this forces Andyzz into a position where he has to go backwards instead of forwards. If he's sensible. And I know Andyzz is sensible, so I'm just making him slow down, basically. That's the thing, when you're playing against the coaches like Zaro, Lucas Kohler, coaches like this, they're going to keep coming forward no matter what. Me as well, I'm going to keep coming forward as well. So you can't make plays like this that say, hey, back off or I'm going to hurt you. But against a player like Chris J, Andy, some case Smoko, etc., this is actually the best way to slow them down, because they're sensible players, and the sensible play is to go backwards, not to go forwards, or to stay still. Either way, you slow down, I can reposition my Dark Elves, which move very quickly. And he does indeed go back. He goes really far back, actually. And he is going to try and change sides, maybe. Though it does mean that I can basically screen off quite safely here, without too much hassle. But Andyzz didn't have much of a choice. Ooh. 2 down is scary against the mummy, and it does work out in the mummy's favour. Witch Elf goes night-night. Yeah, the only sensible play is to go backwards or to stay still, because if you come forwards, all that's going to happen basically is that my 2 blitzers are going to hit your ball carrier. Now though, I'm actually going to make space for Andy, because I want him to come forward again. And I want him to basically make a mistake. That's what I'm trying to make him do. Make a positioning mistake, not a roll mistake. And I remember actually making this play specifically. I was trying to put too many pieces on this side so Andyzz can see a gap and take it. And I hope that he does take it, because I'm going to make this look like a mistake. Because now it looks like I brought the team too far forward, but these 3 pieces can quite sensibly and successfully stop any ball carrier coming this way. And Andyzz actually reacted very quickly, moving the team this side, as I predicted. Though I don't remember off the top of my head what he did with the ball. If I remember correctly, I don't think he moved it. Though we'll see in a second. And if I do remember correctly, then not moving it was a bad choice. Because I have 2 pieces that can do a lot of damage to the ball carrier here. No, he can't have left the ball still, he has to move it here. He's pushing more and more pieces into a dangerous spot, but I have plenty of pieces that can get out. Yeah, he does move the ball. He moved the ball into the middle, which is actually exactly where I want him to go, because these 3 pieces can stop him here, and it won't take too many rolls in order to do so. That one going down is a bit of a problem, but it's not a huge problem. The stun is more damaging than I would like, but I can get a 2 die with 1 dodge on the ghoul. So I don't know why I'm actually sending pieces in support. I don't need to. But there we go, I did. That's good enough. Ball goes down, ghoul goes KO. And that's bad news for Undead, because I've got a lot of pieces around the ball, and they've only got 1 or 2 pieces that can actually handle it. I'm going to try and block my way out of this problem though. And that wasn't good. That was a bad roll for me. But I'm in a position where it's not going to hurt me too badly. Because they can only blitz 1 piece, and they have to take the block against the blitzer with a skeleton. And with the blitz going there, I have no problem at all. And burning a reroll is also great news for me. So the ghoul is going to attempt to pick up, but probably there's going to be some more positioning first. Probably would have been better off dodging the ghoul and taking the blitz here, because you could have got the ball into a safer position, but never mind. And failed pickup is bad news for Andy. It's a shame he lost that reroll before. I think I was away for this turn actually, because there was a turn when I had to do something, and I think that was the one. So that's the first time I saw that happen. Anyway, we're going to push off the zombie, leaving a small gap for these 2 pieces to get through and get the ball. I have to get the ball this turn, and I want the ball as far away from possible, so that's the intended target. Pick up, good. And pass. Yep. Not good, inaccurate, but inaccurate is fine. Not really worried about the zombie picking up the ball. He can, it's possible. Though I don't think Andyzz is going to make that play. And the ghoul is a bit too far away, he's going to be exposed out there on his own, so Andyzz is just going to lock up the ball, which means I can go get it next turn, hopefully. The white can pick up the ball though, I didn't see that until just now, so the white is going to do it. Fair enough. Well played, Andy. No, the ghoul is going to pick up the ball. White is going to hand off to the white, that would be a good play, or pass to the white. Yep, that's what's happening. Fail. Reroll. Pass is good. Oh no. Oh, but catch is bad. That was a good play from Andy. Very good play, because it's hard for me to get to the ball now, actually. Now, my plan has backfired, and I'm out of position, and he's in position, so well done, Andy. I'm going to try and clean it up, though. Basically, just basing the ball as much as possible. No, I'm just going to pick up. That was bad. I should have based it, but alright. And we're going for a pass, which is inaccurate. I'm not sure about that play, looking back at it. I could have done that better, but it worked, so fine. Actually, I don't know what I could have done in response, to be fair. There wasn't much I could do, but the ball is dangerous there. Though at least every piece that can receive the ball is based. And we're both out of rerolls, which is bad news for both of us. Though if he keeps putting pieces into a position where... If he keeps pushing my pieces onto his important pieces, that's good news for me, because I can pick up and slow him down. Though having a free white again is bad news. Pick up, pass, and away we go. Pickup's good. And pass. It's good again. Well done, Ghoul. And catch is bad again. Boo, white. That means that we're having a pass off here. So we've got to stand up pieces first before we even attempt the ball. Yeah, good. And now attempt the ball. I'm better off just dodging and not passing. Not passing. Yeah, good. I didn't pass. Just checking. And blitzing the ghoul. That's a good call, actually. And that's the other ghoul out. That's going to make it almost impossible for Andyzz to handle the ball, because the whites are way out of position. Well, this white's just locked up. The other white is way out of position. I'm going to do my best here, sacrifice a few pieces if necessary, but slow down everything that can move anywhere near the ball. I'm going to try and make this a successful 2-0. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I didn't like the turn 13 pass, but I did manage to clean it up very well, actually, so at least that. Alright, Mummy's going to do some damage, and I guess that white is going to dodge out and blitz. So the Mummy's... No, the Mummy's not in the way. Okay, it was great. That's another blitzer out. Not coming back this game. Or at least this drive. So even if he comes back on the last turn, not a big deal. And a second KO. Well, we're going to get the numbers at least at the end. And the white doesn't even have to dodge now. He can just go straight there. Second white comes up in support. Actually, in full support. We're going to take a 2-die on the ball, but we don't have a piece to pick up here, Andy. Maybe you could have blitzed with that one and picked up with the other one. But okay. Hopefully the scatter's good for him. But it's not. If it scatters anywhere here, I'm not getting it, but that's bad news for Andy. Yeah, block here. Pick up, hand off, maybe. And I'm moving the Mummy into receiving position. Alright, Andy. I love you, my man. That's fantastic work. Always have a piece in position to score, just in case. Especially if you're behind and you've got to do something crazy. Just leave a piece in support, just in case. Right, first of all, we actually put the zombie down. That's fair. Now we can blitz this zombie, leaving plenty of pieces to get the ball out. The whites are kind of in the way, but I'm not too worried about the pickup. Yeah, and blitzer moves back into receiving position. Pick up, dodge out, and then pass. That's got to be the goal here. Yeah. Don't even have to pass, can just hand off. But I do pass because SPP, and with Dark Elves that's a pretty easy pass, 2+2+. And this one's going to lock up these two pieces, or even screen off, that's even better. And that's enough. Even with the low numbers here, I've basically just secured the score. And double skull for Andy, that was an unlucky end. Yeah, that's enough. Sorry man, that was a pretty bad ending. And there we go. Blitzer just runs it in for score number 2. Yeah, I wasn't sure about the play in that one turn where I went to get the ball, but fortunately Andy's play the turn after, to be frank, wasn't much better, but he did the best he could. And I managed to clear it up after that, so at least that. Overall, I think if he practices a few more times, Andyzz is going to be scary as Undead. Andyzz is scary anyway, and even though he has a team he's not very familiar with, I'm sure that he can do a lot of damage and learn a lot from these games he plays in Wood. So, 2 touchdowns, 2 passes, 8 armor breaks. I'm starting to like Dark Elves. Oh no. And 10 armor breaks from the Undead. They did what Undead do, at least. In terms of SPP for the first game for both these teams, Luna is the Witch Elf. She scored, of course. Shade is the Blitzer who scored. Blot, Haunt, and Merc, I think, are all linemen. And Haze is a lineman as well. So, there we go. And Lucio Domizio was a ghoul, I think. Yep, a ghoul. And Tiberio Claudio Drusilla, I think, was a mummy. So that's the SPB for this match. That's all for this one. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching. I hope to see you on the pitch soon. May Nuffle smile on you. Goodbye for now.